That was soft. There we go. Morning. Excuse me if I'm very clearly reading off a script this whole time. I'm so bad at memorizing things. I barely passed my most recent public speaking class last semester, so this ain't exactly my thing, but let's go. This past year, I have been so obsessed with watching those videos of filmmakers talking about how they made their first feature with like nothing, and also the highs and lows that come from doing that. You know, you got your major successes like Clerks, The Puffy Chair, The Dirties, you know, to your humbler successes like Kent Lamb's Bad is Bad or Spencer Fackrell's Geronimo, and even some of the more like hard lessons like Austin McConnell's Sprouting Orchids. There is just something so infectious about the spirit of some kids scrounging up as much money as they can to just, you know, put together a little movie that is so completely them and their voice, forgetting the need for professional visuals, professional actors, or any connections, and just doing it because they're capable of doing it, and they can make something that people want to watch just with what they already have available. That is the coolest thing in the world. Put me in, coach, I want to try. I feel like I'm the usual suspect for this sort of thing. I've wanted to make movies my whole life, just like, you know, 99% of the people that start doing this. Even though I grew up watching maybe 2 movies a year, and they were always either Polar Express and or a Larry Boy episode of VeggieTales. I feel you can tell, but I still knew that I really wanted to be a part of them. I would make little skits with my friends and siblings growing up. I'd occasionally put them here on my YouTube channel. Don't look, I privated them, sorry. And I would make videos for my high school's weekly news show, but it wasn't until my sophomore year when I thought, yeah, I guess this is what I want to do the rest of my life. Which, I mean, that thought was always there, but that's when it was like official, yes, I'm making this decision. I had the incredible privilege of getting to go to the School of Film at Ohio University, which I just finished my junior year of like 2 weeks ago. When people say you don't need film school, they are 100% right. You absolutely do not. But my goodness, I do not regret it for a second. My whole time there will have been worth it, even just for that first semester alone. I've gotten to become friends with some of the most incredible, talented, friendliest people I've ever met, and also just really be pushed to try to make movies and try to make them good, even if they suck. Every filmmaker has a well of bad movies in them, and it takes time to expel that junk, so then you can really start to figure out what your voice is and like what you can contribute to the medium. I've made several shorts so far that I'm honestly really proud of. They all kind of vary from quality and reception, but each one I feel like it was further developing my voice and my style and what I want to do. So here I am, January 4th of this year. I'm home for Christmas break, in between semesters in my junior year, where our curriculum does not involve making anything. I am creatively stagnant. I just watched Jim Cummings' feature version of Thunder Road a few days prior, twice, and I felt super inspired by it, especially the story of how they made it. Turn back on, please. Thanks. So as I'm outside shoveling snow off of my parents' driveway in the cold rural Ohio winter morning, I'm listening to interviews with Jim as he discusses how even after winning Sundance with the short version of Thunder Road, his crew still had to make the movie essentially themselves. He makes several references to the famous "The Cavalry Isn't Coming" keynote that Mark Duplass gave at South by back in the day.
The cavalry isn't coming. I'm looking around like Tony. I'm going to let it sit. And then Tony repeats it. The cavalry is not coming.
I was aware of that talk, but I hadn't actually listened to it yet, so I go ahead and turn it on while I'm working, and this just fills me with the most intense ambition and can-do attitude. I am red hot, even though I'm completely numb in the snow. I finish shoveling, I go inside, I sit down in front of my free version of Writer Duet that only gives you 3 projects for some reason. I look at the feature screenplay I started writing last summer, and it's doing nothing for me. So I copied and pasted it into Google Docs so I can still hold on to it. I clear that page, I start writing whatever I do have. I would write every day for the next 2 weeks until I finally had a completed first draft. In that South by keynote, Mark mentioned that when you're this young and still developing your voice, it's good to be self-indulgent.
And at the risk of saying you should make a self-indulgent film for your first movie, you should absolutely make a self-indulgent film for your first movie, because that's your special stuff. That's like your zhuzh. And when you tap into that, you show it to your friends, they'll be honest with you, and you're gonna find it might be 2 weeks later, it might be 2 months later, it might be 2 years of doing this, that you have something unique to offer. And this is going to be the start of your career.
Being very self-indulgent was a scary thing to me because I think when you watch so many short films, especially student films like I do, you really start to recognize when someone is just saying, my life is so hard, and I'm so hot and misunderstood. I think I've really started to turn around my perspective of what being self-indulgent in art really is. I can write from my own perspective in a way that is unapologetically my own without it being, just about me. It's about being a person based on experiences related to what I may have had and want to tell. And any experienced artist or writer or just anything like that would, probably say, yeah, obviously, but keep in mind, I'm coming through this through the perspective of someone who's just starting this out. So finally, I have a script that I'm ready to get producing. Knee High by the 4th of July, a post-coming-of-age story that follows Arthur Sharp, a washed-up student-athlete learning to make his own decisions after graduating high school with no path set for him afterwards. He spends that strange summer limbo flipping between clinging to what he had while trying to grow into his own person. I wrote the script based on things that I imagine I could easily get access to. I'll write a main character that I can play myself because I don't have to pay me. We can shoot at my parents' house, thank you Mom and Dad, and at my old high school. That should be easy. That should be so easy. It actually mostly was, not gonna lie. So I email my old video teacher from high school. I tell her what I'm trying to do, and she loves it. We schedule a time for me to go in and meet with her. She loves the idea. I talk to some students, they love it. I talk to other staff, they love it. This is going great. I talk to the principal, he says it sounds great, but he can't approve anything until the superintendent says yes. Makes sense, no biggie, I got this far, let me give him a call. He's not there. All right, I'll leave a message and maybe try again tomorrow. Let me try again. Let me try again. Okay, one more time. It went on like this for close to 2 months. This grinds production to a halt. And a lot of this is absolutely on my part. I'm still a student, and this is my first time making something of this scale. That's the whole point of doing it, pretty much. But my goodness. It is really hard to schedule a film shoot when one of the main locations that has only half committed won't even answer your calls. Finally, I meet with my friends who are most solidly involved in the movie at this moment. Luke, my producer, I love you, Luke. He also gave me that little clapboard to use at the beginning. He's the best. And John, my DP. Love you, John. You are so talented, and I'm so grateful for you. And we decide that once I go home for the summer, which I just did 2 weeks ago, I will go in person and ask for him directly. If no luck, we're setting dates officially and asking elsewhere. I'm ready to get things moving. The morning I was about to go in, I called 2 more times just to make sure, no answer. But then later, while I'm in the shower, getting ready to leave to head towards the school, I hear my phone buzzing. I go out and it's him. I answer. Is this Cam? Yes, sir, that's me. They tell me you're trying to let you film here in the school? That's right, yeah, for a few days in June, if that's all right. Yeah, no, that's a liability. Absolutely not. That's my final answer. Goodbye. 2 months spent desperately trying to call this man. After getting a resounding yes from everyone else that works below him, he didn't ask for me to explain it or even maybe we can discuss it more, not I'm worried about it for insurance reasons, could you sign something? Not even a sorry, but I don't think this is what we can do right now. Absolutely not. Click. An unfortunate setback, but a necessary one. We keep moving, and while it's frustrating when you hit those hurdles as you're barreling towards something you really believe in, it's such a good reminder that I think every student filmmaker really needs to be reminded of. Nobody owes you anything. You owe everyone everything. I see filmmakers online complaining a lot about how their crew got burnt out after working 18 straight 12-hour unpaid shifts, and the director gets mad because this is a team effort. How are you going to make it in the industry if you can't handle this? And I just want to say, If you are working for people who tell you things like this, do not listen. Yes, filmmaking is an intense labor that will require some sacrifices, but no, it's not on your shoulders to make those sacrifices for someone else's vision, especially if you're not being treated fairly or paid. And if you are a young independent filmmaker relying on the labor of people who love you, please lighten up. Thank everyone who even pays any mind to your project, because they do not need to. They are doing you a favor. Please destroy any sense of hierarchy you have on your sets. It makes no sense. It has no place at this level of filmmaking, especially if these people are volunteers. On that note of being reminded of how important individual people are, I really want to express my gratitude to a few real-life people who have already shown so much support to me. My friends Luke and John that I just mentioned, as well as all of my wonderful friends that I made at OU who tirelessly champion each other and each other's work. To my family, who are so willing to cheer me along. That is a privilege I will never want to take for granted. To every actor, filmmaker, or anyone who's expressed interest in this film, you seriously mean the world. And even strangers who've reached out or asked about the project and encouraged me in it. I love all of you so much. What was I talking about? Like Puffy Chair or something? That's a good movie. I just watched that last night.